chapter. And here we are going to learn about four types of anarthas. What are the four types of um, anarthas? We'll see the meaning of anarthas also in this particular session. Four types of anarthas. By the influence of the external energy, the living being, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, considers himself as a product of matter. Hence, shackled by Maya's illusory energy, he is submitted to numerous material sufferings. Maybe we can reduce the volume little bit lower, please. Background music. Okay, I'm going to read this again. By the influence of the external energy, the living being, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, considers himself as a product of matter. Hence, shackled by Maya's illusory energy, he is submitted to numerous material sufferings. In this deplorable situation, anarthas, material attachments, are developing. Artha means value, and the prefix an means without. Thus, anartha means that which has no value. Material assets yield no. Maybe we can reduce the volume little down. Material assets yield no benefit at all for the living entity. But as soon as he becomes influenced by the external energy, he unfortunately considers the different anarthas as valuable and becomes fully engaged by them. I'm going to again repeat this one. Myself, I have to focus more. Artha means value and prefix an means without. Thus, anartha means that which has no value. Material assets yield no benefit at all for the living entity. But as soon as he becomes influenced by the external energy, he unfortunately considers the different anarthas as valuable and becomes fully engaged by them. It is important to remember that the spell of anartha can only be broken by the strength of devotional service. All anarthas are nothing but different effects of Maya. Maya, Maya, however, is like the darkness, and Krishna is like the sun. Where Krishna appears, there can be no darkness. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Antakara. Now that finishes the introduction of what Anartha means. Anartha means that which has no value, that which has no value. But then what happens is due to the influence of Maya, we think that which is has no value to be more valuable than anything in our life. That is the illusion part that we are all in. Very beautifully explained by Maharaj in this particular paragraph to understand what anartha means and what Maya means, how we value unnecessary things to be necessary things in our life, and we get somehow distracted and go in different path and forget Krishna. Now Maharaj is explaining there are four types of anarthas as analyzed in Amanaya Sutra. Amanaya Sutra. Amanaya Sutra. Here that the four are first one defects of the heart, Hrudaya Dourbalyam, which are again subdivided into four types. I please kindly concentrate here because these are very important details we need to know to make our chanting better. One more time. Defects are of four types. Anarthas are four types. The first one is Hrudaya Dourbalya, defects of the heart. And that is again divided into four subdivisions. Number one, attachment to objects which has no relationship to Krishna. Number two, the propensity to cheat and find faults. Number three, envy. Number four, the desire for recognition. So I'm going to say this again. The Hrudaya Dourbalyam, the weakness of heart that causes because of this four, attachment to the object which has no relationship with Krishna. But actually, as per the Vedanta, as per even from Bhagavad Gita, if you see, read the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's very clear that is no object which has no relationship with Krishna. Every object has relationship with Krishna. There is nothing, not even an atom, where Krishna is not present. If that is the case, in this thing, it says attachment to objects which has no relationship to Krishna. It seems to be contrary, right? What it means is that Krishna is present in every single atom, every object. But the question is, if that particular object is going to get me close to a devotion, love to Krishna, or is going to take me away from Krishna in as an individual person, is what the question is. Otherwise, Krishna is present in this book. Krishna is present in this cell phone that I have. This definitely is present. I can use the cell phone for watching unnecessary, unwanted things, or I can use the cell phone to connect to Krishna, who's present in this object called cell phone. So that is how we have to understand this first thing. So Krishna is present everywhere. We should not take that there are some objects where Krishna is not present. Is Sarva Vyapi. Is Sarva Vyapi means is spread everywhere, is everywhere. So the question is this object going to help me to establish that relationship with Krishna, or is this object going to separate me and take me away from Krishna? That is the only thing, because we don't see Krishna in all the objects. We are not such a jnani where we can see Krishna in every single object. That's not we are. Therefore, we have to apply this principle to attachment to objects which have no relationship to Krishna. That's the first one. The second one is a propensity to cheat and find faults, which is inbuilt. One of the defects that we have is to get cheated or cheat others. This cheating propensity is so bad that sometimes unknowingly or naturally it comes even to the level of so you go to someone's house, they're asking, um, uh, uh, did you have anything, did you eat anything? If I say I ate anything, that person may wanted to give something, may not give something. So I may say, no, I didn't have anything, so that I can get some, something, snacks or something when I go to someone's house. So this is also a cheating. Right? I'm just giving a simple example here, but it could be any level of cheating that we can do. So being a devotee, we have to be very careful not to have this propensity to cheat others. When we cheat others, as it said, we are cheating ourselves, because we cannot cheat anyone. Krishna is present in our heart, watching our thought very carefully. So the propensity to cheat and to find faults, continuously finding fault, is also that, I mean, finding fault is also not our job to do this thing unless and until we are in certain position. Then we can find fault. A guru can find faults in disciple. A leader can find fault in his subjects, so that to correct the situation, not to kick them off. Therefore, finding fault is not should be an habit, regular habit in us. And number three is envy. We want for us to be envious of, everything that we have in our life is simply based on our own karma. I am looking the way that I am looking right now, and someone is looking much more better than how I am, or someone can someone can read this book one time and can just repeat and practice and quote fluently, whereas I have to read this book at least 20, 10, 30, 40, 50 times to even get one point out of it. That is also one small envy of that one. Someone may be quoting slokas, some may be struggling to quote slokas, like myself. So this is all simply based on one's karma, how much knowledge we have. So we don't need to be envious and even jealous for that matter, or of anyone. We don't need to feel like that. It is we have to accept that that's all our prapta. Prapta means this is what I've done in my previous life. I'm happy that whatever I can do now in Krishna consciousness, that should be happy. I should be happy about it. Why? Otherwise, what happens is that we want to be recognized by people. So he's so great, he's so nice. Even to think that someone to be called as he's a wonderful devotee, one may think, oh yeah, I'm really a wonderful devotee, one nice devotee, right? So that recognition, these are all Hridaya Dourbalyam. These 4 points are Hridaya Dourbalyam. uh, just meditate on these things for rest of the day. What are the heart weakness that we have? Number one, attachment to the objects which have no relations or connection with Krishna, meaning which cannot remind us about Krishna. Krishna is present in all the objects, but it doesn't help me to, for example, if you're going to watch a movie, a commercial movie, how is that going to remind us Krishna? In New Vrindavan, when few years back, when we all went for festival of inspiration, we used to go every year, and one drama was been performed by a devotee. He says that it's just a joke, it's a comedy drama. One devotee says, one person says, "Let's go to movie," and some English commercial movie. And then another person said, "Oh, we are not supposed to go to movie." Well, no problem. We'll go to the movie and buy a popcorn, buttered popcorn. So butter, Krishna likes butter, and we can offer the popcorn in mind to Krishna, and then we can make the whole movie spiritualized. So it was just some I'm paraphrasing the whole comedy scene. So we are not going to remember Krishna when we are watching commercial movie or when we are doing something not directly that we can remember Krishna. Therefore, attachment to the object which has no relationship to Krishna means we have to be away from that object, or we have to avoid those objects which cannot remind us of Krishna. Number one. Number two, we should not, as a devotee, practicing devotee, one of the Hrudaya Dourbalyam is cheating propensity. We should not cheat, we should not cheat. By cheating, we are cheating ourselves and also finding fault. That is none of our business to find fault. Why this person is like that? Why that person is like that? Not needed. And the third is envy. And the fourth is envy is again, I told, everyone is the way that they are based on their own, they earned it. If I if I can go and buy uh, if I can go and buy a car for $100,000, and someone else can only buy a car which is the second or third hand or a fifth hand car which is $2,000. I should not be worried about that just because that person has earned. He worked hard to buy that 100,000 car, $1,000 worth of car. Have not have the prapti alone, have not done that one. Therefore, I'm not able to get that 100,000 car. Why should I be envy of that person or jealous of that person? It's not necessary to be so. If I earn, then I can also buy 100,000 worth of car. That means if I have that karma, then I'm going to get that one. If I don't have that karma, I didn't deposit in my karma bank in my previous life. Therefore, I'm not going to get. What is the point of being envious of something? And lastly, decide for recognition. Recognition is such a very dangerous thing that one can be free of renounce the worldly things, but then on a subtle level, the recognition, name, fame, prestige, these things are a subtle level attachment that one may have. It's very, very difficult to give away. Therefore, one should be very careful to not have a recognition. I mean, not to decide for recognition, but then by Krishna's will, if that person has to be recognized, he has to be a famous person, and that's a different matter. But as that person should always be humble. Even if he become a famous person, he should be always humble. Those are the points just by this first anartha, the Hridaya Dourbalyam. The next three are, we are not going to go through all this thing because let's take little by little and just soak our thought into this thing before we can take the next one. The next one is going to be offenses aparadha. And again, there are four kinds of aparadha. We are going to see that one. And the third is going to be asat trashna, thirst for material object. That is also of four types. And the last one is illusion about spiritual knowledge, tattva vibhrama. And that is also a four type. Very interesting, very nice, and very important for us to understand and try to be aware of these things on our daily dealings. So I'll pause here and then see if there is any discussions, questions, or realization that anyone has. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So I have a question regarding Bhopal's Prabhu message in the group. So Prabhu, he posted from Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj's book saying it's not recommended to chant Panchatattva mantra before each round. But I heard or I have been practicing chanting Panchatattva mantra and even Guru mantra before every round, just seeking their protection or asking forgiveness if we have committed any offenses while chanting that. So again, it's no harm in chanting Panchatattva mantra. Maharaj also mentioned in the um, book. But I just want to know, Prabhu, like what's recommended? Because even in Sunday school, like we teach kids to chant Panchatattva mantra before every round. So please, if you could share the recommended process, Prabhu.
Okay. Um, First response is yes, it is not mandatory that we have to chant Panchatattva mantra for every round. It is not mandatory. Second response is Prabhupada did not literally say that we should not chant Panchatattva mantra at starting of every Mahamantra. He did not specifically mention not to chant. At the same time, he did not. He just it has not been addressed directly. He has put some restriction on performing kirtan, how Panchatattva mantra needs to be chanted. He's put some restriction around that. He said that three times if you chant Panchatattva mantra when you're doing kirtan, that is good enough. But you don't need to go for 10, 15 minutes just chanting Panchatattva mantra. That's not needed. So Prabhupada put a standard on kirtan, how and how many times and to chant Panchatattva mantra. But when it comes to chanting of the Japa, Prabhupada has not specifically mentioned not to chant before chanting Hare Krishna every round. And also it is therefore it is taken, it is not therefore it is derived in that sense that it is not necessary to chant Panchatattva mantra before starting up every round. That's how we have to take it. Because it's not mentioned, we derive that it's not mandatory. If it's mandatory, Prabhupada would have told to chant Panchatattva mantra before chant. It's not mentioned, therefore it's not mandatory. That is how we can derive. It is now that particular principle definitely varies within ISKCON, and there are gurus who recommend to chant Panchatattva mantra before chanting every round. This is also there. This is definitely also there. I've known there are teachers who have told to chant Panchatattva mantra. For every round, you have to chant. And there are different opinions that you don't need to chant because Prabhupada did not say. So whatever here is where it's going to be little contradictory or thing. But the way that I simply would say is the way that I see this whole contradictory things to put together is if you are going to chant 16 rounds at a stretch, this is how I take it. This is my personal opinion and way I understand this one. Um, if you're going to sit and chant 16 rounds at a stretch, one time Panchatattva Mahamantra should be sufficient enough. But if you're not going to chant at a stretch without any break, not even getting up or nothing, just sit and chant 16 rounds and then you get up and go and do any other work. One round Panchatattva mantra should be good enough. And we all know that's not going to happen. We all know, at least I can't do that. Therefore, we seek blessings of Panchatattva before we again resume our chanting. I will be knowingly or unknowingly making several mistakes in my chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. My dear Panchatattva, kindly be merciful and forgive my offenses in my chanting. And I start again. There's nothing wrong. You're resuming your chanting. Therefore, you're chanting again Panchatattva mantra. I don't see anything wrong in chanting in that way. Um, well, any follow-up question on that?
No, Prabhuji, yeah, it was helpful. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay. Um, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
I
just
can, one second. I can tell there are, even though we are one institute, every, uh, every, every sannyasis, every initiating guru, they all slightly differs in certain details. The principle is same. Please understand you. The principle is going to not be changed. What Prabhupada set as a principle cannot change. But the details of applying that principle may vary according to the individual gurus, individual persons, right? So what is important is to keep up the principle, and the details of certain things can be adjusted in according to um, one's realizations or one's connection, or how, whatever you want to say. The details can vary. Not every single person in ISKCON is exactly doing all the details. They vary, right? So therefore, what we have to be sticking on is, as the principles changed. If the principle is changed, then we are totally going against our parampara. If the principle is inact, but then the details are being changed for the benefit of enriching the principle. Please understand this. The details are there changing to enrich the follow the principle, then that is all right. I don't see there's a problem there at all. But if you're touching the principle itself, then we are telling we'll chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time and chant 108 times of Panchatattva mantra. That's a principle change. That we should not be doing. That's not what is being told to do. If that makes sense. Amala Radhika Mata.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
To be very frank, there are many things Prabhupada verbally did not say. But in 2025, we are in 2025, many changes have happened. Many changes have been for the improvement of preaching, for the improvement of enriching our Krishna consciousness. Many things been added over the period of the time, but keeping up the principle. Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, his teachings are main, and then to enrich, to grow on that principle. Many things have changed now, but not to give up the principle. It's obvious, we can just do so much of research in it's within ISKCON. It is not in 1960s 65s how Prabhupada started, and we are now is so much variation and nice flavors has been added to just bring Krishna consciousness to the world. Otherwise we should not be doing any of those things. Prabhupada also did not speak anything about online preaching. He didn't say anything about it because those days it was not there, right? Many things are not there, but we have to apply our our intelligence so that the principle can be taken seriously with the details to help the principle. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, this was very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and also on the same topic, I also want to. It's nice that we have an open conversation in this chat, but my humble request is, Bhopal Prabhu, do not take this as personal thing, and do not take it personally. This is for everyone. Anything that we are posting is different than what we have been doing. You're welcome to post, but then it'd be nice to think twice. Is it going to be, rather it can be discussed in the forum before we post anything. Otherwise, it may create unnecessarily certain things will pop into our mind. Oh, am I doing right or am I not doing that? So we have to be little careful, especially when you're posting or especially posting something which is different than what we have been practicing. Again, you're all welcome to do whatever you want to do. I'm not putting a restriction here, but be careful when we are all practicing devotees. Rather, we can discuss those things, um, and then we can post whatever we want to post. That makes sense, Gopal Prabhu, not just to you, I'm telling to everyone, but since it was a recent incident, what you posted, I'm just picking on that particular posting. Okay, anyone else?
Prabhu, I have continuation question, Prabhu, on the same thing. So can we treat like this? Like whenever we break something, means in between also we'll break our chanting. So whenever we break, then we can chant Panchatantra and we can continue. That is the statement we can take, right, Prabhu?
Don't do Panchatantra. We don't want to chant Panchatantra. Panchatattva we have to chant.
Sorry, Prabhu. Yes,
Sorry, I'm just making fun. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because currently in our chanting, normally we are starting with Panchatattva and we are ending with
My,
Panchatattva one round.
my recommendation is when you started chanting, do not break in between. If it is really you cannot really do that, that's different. But then when you started, finish that round and then take a phone call or do whatever you want to do. But that would be the best practice. While you started chanting, finish the 108 mantras and then address the other thing. Even between chanting only, you're doing Panchatantra, sorry, Panchatattva, Panchatattva mantra so many times. That is all not needed. This is exactly why Japa Maharaj was saying, Jayadut Maharaj saying, we are not we are coming up with so many different innovative ideas. This is what Maharaj is very afraid of. What's going to happen to ISKCON down the line if we creatively start doing all these different things, which is not Prabhupada's tool, right? Prabhupada has not told us such things. That's his concern. He had a very valid concern too. This is how things start. And slowly it goes into totally different schools of thought altogether. So Maharaj is trying to protect, in one sense, that let's not change the mood of Prabhupada and things. That's the only reason why Jaya Advaita Maharaj is saying some things like that. Because these great souls are with us right now. And down the line, they'll all be gone. And we will not have any direct information who had direct relationship with Prabhupada. So we have to value their feedbacks also. But we have to apply the principle of what is being told here. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I just add a couple of things here?
Yes.
So Prabhu, yeah, so there are two reasons why I posted it, Prabhu. Sorry, yeah, I should have asked you before I posted it. So when I first read it, so because I have been also chanting the Panchatattva mantra before every round for the last 15 years. So this came as a shock to me to just see that. So I just wanted to post it just to get the opinion, just to have the discussion, Prabhu. That's one reason. And the second reason is that recently when Rompa Swami Maharaj visited, he also made this point that when you do the Tulsi prayers, for example, some people say Krishna Bhakti, some people say Vishnu Bhakti in the prayers. So and Maharaj was making this point that in the actual sloka it's Vishnu Bhakti. So but somehow in ISKCON, we have morphed it into Krishna Bhakti, and then some people have been doing this. So this just like the standards have like, not the standards, but some of these details have been changing. And so Maharaj making this point that if we start slowly changing something, then we just go off the track, and then eventually we'll go off the track a lot. So maybe that's also related to this point that yeah, Prabhupada didn't say specifically, but also in that same page there is a footnote that so Prabhupada gave direct instructions when he was initiating some devotee. He said that this is how you chant, and he showed that you go up to the from the head beat you go to the end, and then you come back. He didn't mention specifically that okay you do with Panchatattva. So I think that's why Maharaj is saying that Prabhupada didn't say, and so we should not do this. So that was the other reason.
Well, thank you, Prabhu. Again, don't take it personal, all right? I'm okay with it. I'm just want to make sure that if you're posting, then you post a question along with that one and leaving just a post over there without posting a question. Or you can just say that, uh, let's discuss about this, or do anyone has any opinion about this one I came across? Rather than just putting there, saying that, it's like an instructive thing, you're just putting there and without any comment, then it's just an instruction if it makes sense to you. But if it's followed by some statement, I came across this one, maybe we can discuss about, anyone has any opinion, that will be a discussion. Just forwarding a message and leaving it there, it doesn't convey a message of what you're trying to say. You means over is forwarding that message. That's the point here. Second point is correct. Maharaj, when Rompa Maharaj says, that is a serious thing. Changing a sloka from Vishnu to Krishna, that's a serious matter. But what we are discussing here is not changing of slokas or a purport or any of those things. It is just a practice. whether to add, whether to chant Panchatattva mantra or whether not to chant Panchatattva. That is different, but it's all related in one sense. But what Maharaj says was a sloka change. That is definitely cannot be accepted. All right. Anything else? Everyone is so quiet today after this. If no question, we will continue chanting. Oh, it's already 6 o'clock. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, I just need some inputs like or clarification. So recently after the initiation, those who were initiated like came for Bhiksha and all, right? So I just want to know the reason or the philosophy behind that coming.
You know, traditionally, what we are all supposed to do is we have to go join an ashram, give up everything, join an ashram, be under a guru and serve guru. And as a disciples, we go out door to door as for alms, begging for things, and we bring it to the ashram and then cook and offer and serve guru. And if guru says now you can go eat, that's when the disciple is going to go and eat. That is a tradition. Traditionally, that's how it is. In those days, the disciple will not go earn money. He will go work for guru, get whatever the ingredients are, and then come and use those ingredients, serve the guru. And if guru tells now you can go eat, please understand, not as soon as he finish, we are disciple is not just waiting for the guru go and wash his hand and then immediately go and eat. Guru has to instruct, now you all can go and eat. That's when the disciple takes a remnants and go and eat the food. This is a tradition. How much can we follow that one here? Even if we say this is a tradition, we will stop taking initiation first place. So at least to keep that system, at least after getting initiated, the thing is that we are just applying that principle over here. Number one. Number two is to make ourselves understand now that we have got initiated. It's not that we are master. We have become beggars of Krishna Bhakti, Guru's Anugraha. That is the meaning of we are going and begging to make ourselves humble, right? We humbly go and beg. I'm no more a great person. I'm servant of my guru. So please give something where I can serve my guru with what I get. So these are some principles why we are doing this one. At least on only once in a lifetime we do this one, unfortunately,
Yes.
right? But even to take this to the next extent, as a grahasthas, the Dharma Shastra says, as soon as you cook your food, you come out and stand and call out people 4 times. You have to call for people to come and have food at your house. 4 times you call out and someone will come and then you feed that person and then you have the food. If you go stand in St. Louis outside and call like this, van will come and put us into jail. Right? So we can't do many of these things, at least to remind us in one sense that this is the principle that we have become officially a servant of not Krishna, servant of my Guru, servant of Krishna. So for these principles, we have to remind us in those principles, it's been told we do these things.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And then when you're doing this one, irrespective whether you get a penny, a dollar, $5, $100, doesn't matter. You don't look at what they are dropping inside and look at their face and match the dollar with their face and start judging people. It's not needed.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
If anyone wants to add anything to this point, please feel free to add. Anything else? Okay, wonderful. If there is nothing else, you all have a wonderful weekend, rest of the day. We'll again meet tomorrow morning, 5 Central. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare